I like using pastels, painting, sketching.
So do you feel that you're able to fully express yourself through your art?
Yeah.
What colors?
Lime green, red, and blue.
Visual arts is a wonderful tool to help young people articulate their minds. What we're trying to do with this documentary, just start a dialogue, instigate the thought, instigate action. Because not all children think alike. Not all children approach school in the same type of way. You know, school can be really monotonous if you're just going through the motions. You kind of have to lively it up sometimes.
With your experience, do you feel that visual art is included enough in today's curriculum?
I don't think there's enough, especially in our earlier years. That's why I started the Caesars Learning Center, because I wanted to push arts early.
My favorite type of art is drawing.
If we find their passion early, it can prevent a lot of the things that we have now in regards to our society, with the young boys not having things to do and creating havoc. So I do believe that.
We all know in the schools today they're really cut back on a lot of art classes. As far as when I used to go to school, art was available for me just about every day. Now kids may take art for an hour that's the whole week. And I think it's lacking because kids do need a way for an outlet.
It would be very beneficial if they could have art twice a week. 2 hours would be lovely, but twice a week. That way they could have a practical lesson as well as a theory lesson.
In addition of depicting the starry night by Vincent.
It's great to be the artist and make lots of money if you can, but I think it's even better to pass it on to the next generations. And our teachers, I am sure, are needed.
Art teachers not only need to network with each other, but we need to talk to other disciplines. We need to look at what they're doing in geography. If they're making maps, can we access that and make maps in art class of a different kind and make those connections between the subjects?
These days there's a lot of schools and institutions, government and private institutions, looking for ways to reach kids about things like bullying and expressing themselves and working with their feelings and emotions and things. And I think the visual arts, the performing arts, all of the arts can do that in a way that people really have not even seen the benefits of, because there hasn't been enough of the arts integrated into the regular classroom.
I'm not very happy with the preparations that students have entering into the art and design program, for the most part. Now, there are individual students and perhaps students from maybe specific schools who come here and do well, and they are performing right from the beginning at the level that we would like. But for the most part, many students are not as prepared.
When you're a child, you're an artist. And it only seems like we grow out of it because we don't expose young people to it. There's nothing wrong with coloring and painting. Why wouldn't you want somebody to express herself in that way? Whether it be angry, sad, happy. It's therapeutic. Art is a therapeutic process.
This is 2 houses, a mountain, a stone, a sun, a tree, and stuff like that.
I believe that if we give teachers professional development in how to incorporate the arts into their lesson plans, then they in turn will feel more competent as artists, and then they'll feel fine with teaching that to their kids. we're not expecting the teachers to be Picassos or Van Goghs, but just simple activities that allow for this three-dimensional learning with all the senses, not just looking at books, but also adding color and texture and feeling, and using your hands incorporated in the classroom. All these aid memory and recognition, and also the love of learning.
Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Who's the other dude? Claude Monet. Claude Monet. And that's the only people that I know.
Many times the arts are not considered to be a core subject. It's considered to be an extra. But I would say that the arts completes a continuum of student development. Academics, arts, and self-perception, they all go hand in hand in this lovely sort of circle. The arts aids socially, aids in emotional well-being. It aids in team building, getting out your frustrations. And one thing about art, there's no judgment in art, or at least there shouldn't be a judgment in art. If a child draws an angry picture, let them draw the angry picture. If a child is saying words in their poem or in their art that aren't acceptable, let them do that. It's better to have that expression this way than to have them act it out in another way. Incorporating the arts into the school curriculum would also aid these learners, because once we get out of school, we find that we need to be creative. The job market wants individuals who can think of new ideas and be independent and dream big dreams.
There's this correspondence that goes on amongst artists, and they all at least try to have a higher level of understanding about why something isn't working, or why a person feels this way, or even something as technical as color. Why is red so bright? But you ask these questions and you're looking for answers, but you're just trying to grow. You're just trying to expand your mind.
I believe art offers the individual creativity, and creativity improves everyone's quality of life. So if I am more creative, I'm going to be in a happier state of mind, which puts me in a better place to learn.
And art is the sharing of perspective. In order to share your perspective, you have to be confident of your perspective. The whole premise of artistic license is that your point of view is valid, and it's valid enough that it's worth sharing with other people.
I do art because I like attention. If you're a student in art, if you figure out immediately that this is what you're doing and what you're doing it for, and you're able to find ways to express yourself, you'll be on your way to being the communicator and getting all the attention that you deserve and need and crave.
I think that if you were learning art properly, you'd be learning about yourself and how to present yourself and be heard by other people, and how to hear other people.
It gives you a self-worth. It makes me feel good that this is who I am, and I make no excuses about it. This is me, and it's all a part of me. And I think that having people feel good, like I created this, I can make this, it makes you feel sort of powerful in a way, like this is what I can do.
A child creates for the fun of it. You know, art for art's sake. Let's not take that away from them. Let's have them embrace the arts. Let the children paint.
And when I grow up, I will be an artist.